to Allie's Attic Show, where you never know what kind of surprise you're going to find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a national TV personality and a certified personal trainer. Please welcome Eraldo Maglara. Hello, Eraldo.
Hi, Allie. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing terrific, thanks.
Now, I got to watch the YouTube that Sanjay Raja, who you just had on your show,
Yes.
he put it up on Instagram, so I watched it, and you are very engaging, I must say. Like, very
you.
engaging, which is, helpful as seeing as what you do. Now,
Right.
I have your bio in front of me, so I know all of these wonderful, like I said before the interview, NASA terms. So basically, what are all the certifications that you have?
Well, I went actually back to school. So if I can backtrack just
Sure.
for a quick, I got my bachelor's degree in business out of Stockton University. And so I pursued a business curriculum, and I went into the professional, world for 20 years. And then in 2008, I had an epiphany. I said, this is not what I want to do. So, like, I guess a lot of people, and I decided I wanted to do fitness, which were my two loves were fitness and music. And obviously my musical career flattened out. So I said, I'd like to try my fitness career. And I went back to school in 2008 at the ripe old age of 42, I believe. And I went to school to get to learn more about personal training in Hoboken, New Jersey. So I got my certificate from the National Personal Training Institute. And then when I finished my course, I went into the NSCA, which is one of the National Strength and Conditioning Association, which is one of the top strength conditioning bodies in the world, basically. And I got certified through them as a certified personal trainer. That's why you'll see the initials NSCA CPT after my name. So that's how it came about.
Okay. So you went from there and did really well. And now you're an entrepreneur and a TV spokesperson in the fitness industry. And you truly enjoy educating others about the benefits of health, fitness, and overall wellness.
Yeah, when I first started out with as soon as I graduated, I started my first company, which was Fitness Training by Eraldo, which I still have today. It's an in-home personal training company that I train people in the luxury of their home, which is convenient, it's practical, and a lot of people seem to connect a little more than your average guy who goes to the gym. There's a lot of people that don't like to go to the gym. There's a lot of limitations. So I figure, why not bring the gym to my clients instead of them, going to the gym? So, and it worked out really well for me. I built up a client list of 10 to 15 clients, which I've been able to support for quite some time. Obviously, that's dwindled down a little bit because I've gotten so busy with everything else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was my first. That's how I started my entrepreneur company and how I began. And then I met through people and attending a lot of shows and a lot of, I went to a lot of trade shows, and just to get my name out there and get to know people, I came across a manager who no longer works with me, but she was instrumental in introducing me to my current publicist, which then led me to a manager, and that's how things started taking a different shape and a different career path for me. So I began my television career with my first show, which was called Healthy Lifestyle with Eraldo. That started in 2015, and it was primarily focused on educating and teaching people the fitness, how to work out properly, how to eat properly, how to really living a healthier lifestyle. And that show went on for 3 years on one of the other networks, which I'm not going to talk about. So.
Okay, we won't mention it.
Yes. So that one was a great avenue for me, and I have to admit, when I first started doing my show in 2015, I really enjoyed it. It was a good opportunity for me to, talk to my audience one on one and get to really understand and talk about the health benefits of exercising, eating healthy, and having a positive mental attitude. That was the first. That was the really the core, and the reason for doing my show.
Now,
And then later on, obviously, I got my latest show, which is called Unplugged with Eraldo.
yes, and you're the host and executive producer of that show, your own show. And I just wanted to add, you've been on numerous TV stations across the country, including The Daily Meal, ABC, Fox, CBS, NBC, and WGN. And you've
Mm-hmm.
also been featured in publications such as Oxygen, Self, Huffington Post, Forbes, Thrive Global, Muscle and Fitness, Today's Show, Parents, and many other media outlets. And then you became the host and executive producer of your show, Unplugged with Eraldo, which is
Mm-hmm.
seen on the CW Philly.
That's correct.
And
Yes.
is it just seen in, like, is that Philadelphia, I'm assuming?
Well, right now, yes, the CW 57 Philly is shot in Philadelphia, and it is through the Philadelphia area, and also in the southern part of New Jersey. They're so close. They're so close to one another that you can also see it in the southern parts of New Jersey, anywhere from Ocean County down to, I believe, the last town known. But anyway, it covers southern New Jersey and it covers the Philadelphia area. That's correct.
Okay. Now, in addition to all of that, because like you're not busy enough, you are also the author of The Real Fountain of Youth: Simple Lifestyle Changes for Productive Longevity, a book on healthy aging.
Yes. Yeah, that one was always a passion of mine. When I went back to school in 2008 and I graduated and I got my diplomas through, MPTI, and then my certification through the NSCA, I always wanted to write a book. I always I think, to leave something. The theory was to leave something tangible behind you once you're gone in life. That's how actually it came about. So more tangible than a book. I said, what else can I leave? And so I decided to write a book about, simple lifestyle changes that you can do to have a better life. I mean, exercise, and as you know, Ali, exercise and eating right and positive mental attitude, and it comes with benefits. It comes with great benefits down the road, and I see it, firsthand through my own training, but through the people that I train as well.
Yes, and I'm getting a book, guys. I'm going to stay young forever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm never aging. One of the things we talked about before the interview, I said how old I was. I'm 51 now. Yeah, I'm 51. I just turned 51. I had to stop and think. It seems like after 45, I stopped keeping track. But anyway, everybody says to me, well, you don't look that old. And I don't wash my face with soap. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But my grandma taught me that. She lived to 103.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you how she lived to 103, and I'm not telling anybody to go by this rule because it's not a good rule. Two smokes a day and two shots of whiskey. And I'm like, okay, grandma, you keep doing that. Funny thing, she never inhaled when she smoked, just an FYI. So she basically didn't smoke, guys. Yeah. But she also said not to wash your face with soap. And like I said, I'm a big kid at heart. I have two younger grandkids, so I live vicariously through them. And I think that has a lot to do with it too. But I know I'm doing a lifestyle change in the new year. I'm sure lots of people are. I mean, that seems to be the thing, right? You do your New Year's resolutions.
Right.
And I'm finding it's not as hard as I thought it was.
Hmm. Okay.
It's not. It's not. Seriously. I started cutting out sugar, which I think is
Yes.
a big deal. And
Mhm.
I've started eating healthier. I was awful. Like I was bad. I'm not going to tell you how many sugar I drank in my coffee or the
Right.
pop I drank but I mean, you get to a certain age in your life and you start thinking, okay, how can I make sure that I am healthy and I do like live longer than, most normal people, I guess is the goal.
Right.
So I'm very, very interested in your book, and I think a lot of people are going to be because I mean, who doesn't want the fountain of youth?
Right.
Now, on your show, Unplugged with Eraldo, do you just talk about fitness, or do you talk about all
Yeah.
kinds of topics?
No, the when we made the transition from Healthy Lifestyle with Eraldo to Unplugged with Eraldo, we wanted to take more of a broader approach to the show. My concept was to have more of a variety of people on the show that would obviously not talk about health and fitness, but talk about them personally, talk about them and what they've had to go through in their own experience. So the term unplugged with Geraldo basically means to unplug yourself from your devices, which are so common today,
Mm-hmm.
and unplug from your phones, unplug from your computers, or whatever else you need to unplug from, and just put them down and talk to me. Let's have a conversation, an honest conversation, a one-on-one conversation, and just talk about what's happening, what's going on with them and around us. So I think that was the main switch from the Healthy Lifestyle with Geraldo, and we've had on some major guests. I guess not this past Saturday. We actually had on Jillian Michaels to talk about her book. She just came out with a new book, and we've had other individuals that have been Sanjay Raja, like you mentioned before. He was on the show, amazing, and we've had other guests and celebrities and people and entrepreneurs. So it's been a more of a broader scope as far as it's a show
Mm-hmm.
is concerned but that's how I wanted it. We needed to make a difference, a switch between Healthy Lifestyle with Eraldo and Unplugged with Eraldo, and it's worked out fabulously. I mean, the CW is an amazing network to be on, and they've allowed me to be on their platform, which has been amazing. It's been a blessing, to be honest with you.
Well, and
So,
like I said, you are so engaging. You're so good at it. And you know what? It's funny because we do not do the same things at all. At all. I'm just saying, you guys, he's way, way, way better at this than I am. But I love listening to people's stories. So
mhm,
that's why when I have people on, I ask them to tell me their story or their journey to where they got to
right.
now because I think it's I mean, number one, I'm curious. And number two, I think a lot of other people are too. I mean, they don't want to
Sure.
just, ask 10 questions, get the answer to those 10 questions, and that's all they find out.
Mm.
So that's why I like your show because that's what you do. And now, based on everything that you've gone through and all the different transitions you've made, and I didn't know you were a music person. We'll talk about that another time. Um, yeah,
Okay.
mine never took off ever because I can't sing. Like, were you seriously a musician at one time?
Well, I still practice my music. I play the piano, so I still do that on my spare time, my limited spare time that I have. It's more for pleasure, and it's also a relaxation tool that I use because it kind of gets your other creative juices going. When I play the piano, it kind of takes me to another place, and it's for me it's comforting, it's soothing, clears your mind. I mean, I do other things as well, like I play tennis. I'm an avid tennis player, and obviously I spend time with my wife and my kids as well. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just a platform for me to get away from it all. So I do still practice the piano. I still do play the piano. But obviously, I knew back then that it was limited in a scope, in a certain scope. So I just do it for enjoyment, basically. So
Well, and that I mean that should be the number one reason you do anything.
yeah.
So, okay, so based on everything that you've done and everything that
Hmm.
you've gone through so far, if you had any advice to give somebody that okay, I'm going to ask for three different things I think here or yeah, three. So if they wanted to get into fitness, what would they do? If they wanted to get into TV, what would they do? And if they wanted to write a book, like, holy, you're covering all three bases for me in one
Yeah.
show. So, what kind of advice would you give based on what you've gone through so far, Araldo?
Well, I guess if you start with the first one, fitness, we could start basically, you know, we need, it's something that we need. It's something that it's no longer just a theory. It's basically something that has been proven, through studies and research. It's science. So now we definitely need to understand that. And then once we incorporate the science end of it, then you need to take a look at yourself and see what is it that what do I want to accomplish, or something that I want to do. And the best thing that I did for myself was obviously to go back to school. Now obviously everybody cannot go back to school, but you need to do some research and figure out what is best for you. I always say to people, do you need a personal trainer? Initially, I think you do, because a personal trainer or a certified trainer, it doesn't have to be a personal trainer, but somebody who's certified within a well-known body can lay out the groundwork for you. They can educate you on certain things you should do and should not do. So it's important to have that base, and then take it upon yourself to build on that base. And once you learn how to do proper technique and how to change certain aspects of your body or how to eat properly, then I think it's upon yourself to take it to the next level. So that's number one.
Okay.
The second thing that you mentioned about people maybe writing a book,
Mm-hmm.
that's a much harder task than I originally had anticipated, because it does require a lot of your time and a lot of your effort. But I believe that if you have a strong message that you wanna give to people, that you wanna maybe have, my show Unplugged with Eraldo, the good thing about it is that there's a lot of connection with people when you're speaking to them, a message they want to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way for me, I think, to do that is to write a book, write an article, maybe I don't know, belong to some sort of a group where you can write and express yourself on paper. Something. I mean, social media today is a way to do it, but I think when you actually get into writing a book and doing it more more realistically, I guess it's for me that's a great way to get your message out there. And as far as the television show, that's I guess a TV is not for everybody.
No.
So it really depends on on the individual. I've always something that I forgot to mention about back in the heydays, or maybe back in '95. I also took a couple of years to pursue my acting, and I did some some theater and television. So that was always something that was a passion of mine to do. But television came to me very naturally. I wanted to, it's an opportunity for you to get in front of your viewers and your followers and directly speak with them. And I think it's important if you have a message that you want to share. So, but yeah, all those three things are a challenge. No matter which one you tackle, they're all a challenge, but worthy challenge.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not one to be in front of the camera. I like to be behind the microphone. So I get what you're saying that way. I was a radio announcer for 18 years. So TV for me is just like, no, 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 I'm having a bad hair day. No, I mean, obviously you go through makeup and stuff, but yeah, no, I'm just not
Right.
comfortable in front of the camera. So it takes a special individual to be able to be that way. And I guess that's why a lot of people think that it's, you can be an overnight success doing all these things, and you can't. There's a lot of, thought and process and education and, all of that stuff that goes into all of it.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, reading a teleprompter is not an easy thing. It took a lot of practice. It took a lot of time, and that there's a certain way, because the idea is to make it look like you're just speaking to somebody, when in reality you're actually reading, and you're maintaining a certain expression, or you're trying to relate a message. So it does take time.
Yeah, definitely. I did it once, and it wasn't even it was for some kind of school internet thing, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to, no, I can't do this, I can't. Yeah, so I never did it again anyway. I'm glad you had success doing it, because like I said, you are very engaging, and you do
Thank
sound
you.
like you're talking to people, you're not talking at them, and you're not
Right.
reading. And that is my biggest pet peeve, by the way, if anybody wants to know, is when you're watching an actor or somebody on an awards show or any kind of thing, and you can tell they're reading. It's
Mm.
like, you're supposed to be a professional. Make it look professional, for the love of God. And you do that well.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So I just want to urge everybody to, if you're in the area of Philadelphia, make sure you are tuning in to Unplugged with Eraldo. If you want to buy a book that's going to help you find that fountain of youth, which I'm very excited about, The Real Fountain of Youth: Simple Lifestyle Changes for Productive Longevity, a book on healthy aging.
And by the way, that book is available on Amazon for anybody interested. They can go to Amazon and get the book. So it's very easy. Just punch in The Real Fountain of Youth, and my name will pop up, and the book will pop up too. And Unplugged with Eraldo can be seen on the CW 57 Philly every Saturday. Well, actually, it's 2 Saturdays out of the month at 12 p.m. So you can catch the show there, and also on YouTube. If you miss an episode, you can actually go catch the whole show on YouTube as well. So just punch in Unplugged with Eraldo, and you get the whole show.
There you go. And now he's in Eastern Standard Time, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
So when he says the times. Now, you can also be found on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm going to spell it for everybody because this is a YouTube interview. So everybody can find you. It's at, and I'm going to spell Eraldo. It's Eraldo. And then your last name, which is Maglara.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maglara. So that's at Eraldo Maglara.
Perfect.
And make sure you're following him on YouTube as well, because you will be drawn into his world, because you're very engaging and you're very good at hooking people. So, and that's a bonus. That's what you want to do. So thank you so much for coming on my show. It means a lot to me. And if you ever want to come back on, let me know, and I'm going to hit you up for that book. I'm not going to let you forget it. I want to live till I'm 103. I don't know if that seems like a long time. I don't know. Anyways, Eraldo, you're very gracious, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're welcome. And thank you for joining me on Ali's Attic Show. Keep checking my website, because you never know what kind of surprises you're going to find in my attic. And make sure you're following my YouTube, Ali's Attic Show. Cheers.